Dealmaker Zone. Today we're at TechCrunch Disrupt in Brooklyn, New York.
In a full immersive way on your iPad. Also, you can start some videos on it. I found the official Topstack branded shot ski. We're running cold starts at the Darcy.
What would you? I'd be really rich. You'd be really rich. That's true.
Dealmaker Zone, yeah, baby. Yeah, you got this guy. You got him. Welcome to the Dealmaker Zone. My name's Nson, and I'm your host. Our show focuses on talking to thought leaders transforming the worlds of real estate, business, and entrepreneurship, and it's brought to you by AnySizeDeals Week, which is the festival of real estate innovation that takes place from September 7th through the 10th, 2021 at the Venetian Resort in Las Vegas. Our first guest today is Bobby Bryant. He's the CEO of a company called Dust that really focuses on transforming the residential real estate space powered through the help of artificial intelligence. Bobby, welcome to the Dealmaker Zone.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, Steve.
So tell our audience a little bit about the platform and what it does.
So DOS is a digital real estate marketplace with an assistant that's almost like having a Siri or an Alexa built into our platform. What we wanted to accomplish was a few things because we believe that the real estate industry is antiquated, expensive, and fragmented. And by building an intelligent user interface and connecting all the dots, we felt like that we have a really good chance to automate and streamline the process and reduce the cost for the consumer. So in essence, we're building a digital marketplace for real estate that connects search, helping consumers out in the field buying and selling a home. We have a mortgage company, a home warranty company. We connect all the dots in one seamless experience to make it easier and more economical for the consumer.
That sounds like a very ambitious company. So why, where does the concept come from? Why did you decide to launch the platform?
Interesting. It all started with just attacking the front end of it. Back in 2011, I'm a bit of a real estate nerd or a nerd period, and I was watching Jeopardy. And I saw Ivan Watson playing the two winningest players. And when I saw Watson and these guys going back and forth, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Again, this is almost a decade ago. A few months later, Apple introduced the world to Siri. And it was at that moment I said, wow, what if I could pull my cell phone out and ask any question about any property to get accurate, easy, and instant answers without having to wait. Responses and data that's above and beyond your basic estimate price. Value of more than bedrooms, more than bathroom counts and lot size. What if I could just take a consumer above that and beyond that? Natural light, wood floors. Can you tell me about this neighborhood? Can you tell me about this subdivision? Is it a place I would want to live? Literally like having a realtor in your pocket.
That makes a lot of sense. So from when did you launch the company?
So right now we're in private beta.
Okay.
We're launching on February 8th.
You're launching on February 8th. So in terms of the private beta, is it mostly realtors that are on the platform testing out the beta? Who is involved in the private beta?
Yeah, we have both realtors and consumers engaging on the platform. Consumers are, having utterances and asking DOS questions. We want to see how that experience is. They're asking to be connected with a realtor. Mm-hmm. They're asking to, hey, DOS, I want to see this property Thursday at 1:00. So we want to see all of these natural engagements. Mm-hmm. That's almost like talking to a person. Because again, our goal is to humanize and mobilize the experience in big data and real estate like never before done.
Where do you get the data from that your AI uses to provide the answers to the users, to the people looking for homes?
Yeah, we've partnered with the biggest and best data providers in the country. When you're building something like what we're doing at DOS, it requires a lot of data. And what better industry than the real estate industry that historically has, sold data, active data that the current, top 5 real estate search engines don't even have the platform to show that data. That's the reason why we took this approach. When you think about it, I want you to, let's take it outside of real estate and look at it this way. Imagine everything that you can ask Alexa, everything. And imagine putting that on a graphical user interface. You would be scrolling for days trying to see all of that information. Real estate is the same way. We have 126 million properties on the ground in the United States, just the United States. At any given time, we have anywhere between 1.2, 1.7 million homes for sale in the United States. We actually also have access to over 6 billion documents on all of those 126 million homes. We're able to put all of that in an intelligent user interface. So when a user makes that utterance with their voice or either they text that question, it deep dives directly into what they're looking for without showing them a bunch of stuff that they don't care to see or want to know. Very similar to going to Google. You ask a question and it says you have 1 million results. Who goes past page 2? Or 1, for that matter? We want to deep dive into what we want to know, not all of the distractions.
I get it.
That's what DOS.
Now I can see it. So you're saying there's a billion data points, a lot of information. You're helping people pinpoint what exactly they want. They can give you information. Your AI is going to sift through everything, reduce the amount of time you're going to waste looking for info, and you get the right real estate info. That definitely sounds like a game changer. So since you started the company, you guys are building this up, what has been your experience in the real estate tech space? So what has been the feedback, the adoption from everybody from the realtors to other people in the community? What has been your experience?
I've been in real estate for 20 years. I started on the mortgage side of the fence. I've been a very successful mortgage broker, did very well. I had a real estate brokerage. I owned a real estate school. I owned a title company. So my experience is deep and wide from an owner's perspective and a practitioner perspective. And all of that experience is what's allowing me to lead, DOS in a direction where we're going. That experience, we launched it 3.5 years ago in alpha. It was stratospheric to see people in the way they engaged it and what they thought. You had some people in the industry thinking that we were creating a tool that was designed to replace them, and that's not the case.
In terms of realtors?
Yes.
Okay. Now
yes.
keep going. I just wanted to clarify.
In terms of the consumer, it was like, wow, I could ask all these questions and get answers. I mean, we're talking about the largest purchase for the average person in their life.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to a website that takes me so far and then makes me have to talk to somebody. We're in an information age. I want to get everything I know so I can be an informed consumer. And that's why we're creating this consumer-centric development, because we want the consumer to be able to get all the information that they need and want. And we just facilitate their desire. We facilitate the transaction. And so the experience has been interesting. I think it depends on who you ask, because the real estate industry was built with the realtor historically indispensably placed in the middle of the real estate transaction. And so what we're doing and believing is that the center of that real estate transaction should be the consumer. And obviously that concerns some people.
It does. So you make a good point about on the residential side, the broker being in the middle of the transaction, and there are a lot of fees involved. So if your platform, you mentioned your goal is not to replace the broker, but you want to put the consumer in the middle of the transaction instead of the broker. So what is the broker's relationship supposed to be with DOS? How is the real estate agent supposed to view DOS?
So in that, what we decided to do was also launch our own. Because if we're going to better automate this process, if we're going to streamline it, if we're going to go consumer-centric, what we also wanted to do was pass the savings on to the consumer. So we do have our own brokerage that will allow us to save a seller money. We believe and are already doing this we're listing a property for a 1% listing fee. And we're able to market that because we are leveraging technology and better automating and marketing. We're able to provide that property more exposure than a traditional broker who is charging the traditional fee. On the buyer side of that, we're giving the buyer a 1% rebate to lower their closing costs. Hence, when you go to our website, it says we're developing the best technology to make homeownership in America more affordable. That's our mission.
Got it. So, and let me just make sure I get it. So in your response, though, you have savings for the buyer, savings for the seller. So DOS, yourself, your company itself, you have your own agents then. Am I getting that correct?
Yes.
You have your own.
Yes.
So as your platform grows, it's not necessarily that you rely on third-party agents. People will come to you guys because you guys have your own internal team and you provide them better services and better fees, and it can save more money by going directly to you versus the competition. Am I getting that correct?
Yeah, and in addition to that, keep in mind, and maybe I didn't say this just yet, but we're franchising the model. That actually will be done by the end of the month, December.
Okay.
I feel like we're in December already.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, time flies, it's like around the corner.
Exactly. So we're franchising. And so what we've already had people throughout the country come to our website asking when DOS would be in their market area or if they could buy a franchise. And so, yes, we will sell a franchise. The platform will empower the consumers to come ask the questions, be able to get information about properties. And when they want to connect with a realtor in their marketplace, they can ask DOS, and DOS will make that connection in real time. No hold times, none of that. It will instantly ping every realtor that's opted in that particular zip code, and whoever answers that call gets that lead, and then it drops into our CRM, and that person can track their transaction, almost like doing a Domino's pizza tracker, but with your real estate transaction. So you never have to wonder at any given moment where you're at in the transaction. We believe that that's what consumers want, and via our research, that's exactly what they said they need and would prefer moving forward, a more transparent experience.
That definitely sounds like something that would benefit a lot of consumers. So in terms of on a personal note, as an entrepreneur building your company, what have been some of the biggest challenges you faced?
Messaging. I'm a bit fortunate. We did okay raising a family and friend round. We have been engaging and building relationships with institutional investors. But I would probably say that the biggest challenge, which we've overcome, by the way, is messaging. And if I had to say something else, timing. We had to wait for people for a while there. We were ahead of where people were. And like one of my mentors said, Bobby, it doesn't matter if it's too early or too late. Both of them are called bad timing. And he's exactly right. And so we had to really tighten and button up our messaging, and we had to wait for the perfect time, and that time is now.
And why do you think that time is now? Is it a function of COVID and the adoption of technology in all sectors? Or is it something else?
I think it's a combination of those and a few other things. Yeah, COVID. I think it definitely has catapulted everything, ahead a few years. I believe that with intelligent assistants, more and more people have gotten used to them. I think that DOS is going to be one of the best use cases that people are going to experience when we launch in February. So I think just getting more and more used to intelligent assistance, timing, of data being available in a different way to companies like DOS in order to empower us to create this beautiful solution. So yeah, a few things that had to happen for this all to take place at this time.
Got it. So you mentioned you were able to raise a family and friends round. I want to ask you something a little bit more personal. So over the summer, obviously after the murder of George Floyd throughout the country, especially in the business community, a lot of people committed to investing in black founders, minority founders, because historically less than 1% of venture capital goes to black founders. Women entrepreneurs don't get a lot of money either. There are a lot of people who necessarily didn't always think that way, that committed to investing. From your experience, do you think it has come to fruition? Do you think a lot of it was lip service? What's your take on the whole focus and energy around providing more capital to minority founders?
Wow, that's a very interesting question, and my experience was that a lot of people did a beautiful PR stunt. My experience. I saw a lot of companies jump out there and they say, oh, this is what we have to do. We're aware now. We're going to do this. Our portfolio, we reflected upon it and we realized that we're only at 1% or less than that or none at all.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do better.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of people that reached out, and honestly, they just went through the motion, in my opinion. Nobody followed through. It was, you could tell it was an exercise. It was, well, I talked to them, I did it. But nobody really ever said, wow, we're really going to do. I don't know if I really saw a true empathetic attempt.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, let me hear you out.
Mm-hmm.
And there was really no education hat put on and say, these are really my thoughts as a mentor, this, that, the other. It felt like an exercise via my experience. And that's really my experience. I think that at the end of the day, I know unequivocally with our traction and what DOS is doing,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be looked at as a Black founder. I want to be looked at as a founder who has a great opportunity, that has traction, that's going after an industry that's ripe for disruption, and we have a very intriguing and interesting approach to that. I think that should be all that matters. As a matter of fact, I'm a Black founder, and I'm a minority within my company. Matter of fact, majority of my team is white and other, but it's still hard. Go figure. But that's my experience.
Got it. I understand. And the reason I'm asking you because I had this discussion with other friends who are founders as well. When it was happening, everybody was putting out statements and having all these commitments. I was one of the few who was like, I really feel like it's different. Like, people are really going to take action, but then to follow through, some of the feedback that I got myself, interacting with some of the people who were very vocal on social media, when it's a personal email conversation, it's totally not the same energy. And to me, it was mind-boggling. Like, what is the point of doing the PR stunt? It doesn't matter. It only matters if you take action. Like, who cares about your PR stunt? And like you mentioned, you're a founder. You want people to focus on your business. You're Black. That's part of who you are. But the reason you're seeking capital, it's because you have a great business, right? So you have something that you're contributing that adds a ton of value. So I'm totally there with you. So we don't have a lot of time left. We did cover a lot. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience about the company, about what's next for your team?
Yeah, so we're excited. Our traction has been strong. We're generating good revenue. We just launched our mortgage company to add to that chain of services. We just finished up our second accelerator and a gold level accelerator with G Beta. We previously did Mass Challenge. Great organizations that allowed us to polish up DOS and our messaging and executive summaries and great situation. And we're looking forward to 2021. 2020 has been stratospheric for us. So I can only imagine what 2021 is going to bring, as we hit our benchmarks and go for a seed round of funding, because we will begin looking for institutional money at that time. And my thing is look forward to hearing and seeing more about DOS. We just won a voice tech top honors.
Congratulations.
They had companies from all over the world to pitch. One of the ones that were selected, and we made a top tier. So what an honor that people recognize our hard work. I want to thank you for this opportunity, Steve.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. So thank you so much, Bobby. And I'm going to make sure everybody stays in touch and follows your journey. And hopefully you have an excellent 2021.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that is the Dealmaker Zone for this week. If you want to be on the show as a guest, please send us an email at show@AnySizeDeals.com. And that's our show for this week.